Yeah, today I wanted to head down to Motorcycle Mall. I wanted to see if they had a new MT-09. I really wanted to see one in person. That was my main objective of going down there. And I wanted to see if it, I know it's totally different than the one I have, but what I would have to do if I get one to do the full custom thing. It took me 2 years to customize mine. I want to see it in person. Now today, one of the things I want to do, I want to head down to Motorcycle Mall, check in with my friends down there, and I do have some friends even from when they were back on the old building. And one of the things I like about going over there, check out any new bikes they have, and I know it's very difficult to get bikes, but I'm always looking at what the possibilities are and what they do have. And it's always fun looking at bikes, let's be honest, and hanging out at a place that has probably 500, 700 motorcycles. Always a good time. Now, it's only about a 15-minute ride down there, and it's a pleasant ride. You don't even have to get on a highway or anything. And it's just a beautiful day, and it looks like it's going to be beautiful for the next few days. So I'm pretty excited about this. And it's just an absolutely beautiful fall day. There should be some people down there, but you never know. And there's always something interesting going on there. And something I haven't seen before. Okay, do you fish want to go to Motorcycle Mall? Get suited up. Now I bought 2 motorcycles here, and they never remember who I am. I guess you got to spend more money.
That did not even sound like it. Ricardo! I was coming over there to kick somebody.
Now what's really nice, they have almost every brand that I've known. They don't have Harley, they don't have BMW, but they have pretty much everything else. And they have all kinds of dirt bikes and 4-wheel drive, those ATVs. And even water jet, the jet skis. Now, great memories. My late friend Carl Wahlberg had a single-cylinder 200cc Ducati that he converted into a dirt bike. And as a young kid, in my late teens, we wore that bike out. We wore the tires to a nub. So much fun. So much fun. Now, every time I'm around motorcycles, I'm always looking for things I can do to my collection of bikes to customize them for my needs. And Turbo Steve sent me a concept drawing with the wheels painted similar to this when we were doing, I forget which one of the bikes we were doing. But anyway, I've never forgotten that. And one of the things that's neat about going down there, there's every type of bike. And there's some bikes I'm not even sure I'm familiar with, that dirt bikes, half dirt bikes, bikes for off-roading, just unlimited supply of cool stuff. And I like to see them in real life. I'm not crazy about seeing them online, and when I see them in real life, I know, and I always take a look and look for something I might want to use as a custom feature on one of my bikes, or whatever. Or I may want to just buy one of these bikes someday. In this case, I'm always looking at wheels. Custom wheels, to me, make a custom bike. Now, one of the limitations all motorcycle manufacturers face, they have to design their paint jobs around not going around the edge. They go right up to the corner and then stop. And to me, if I was going to do one of these custom jobs, I'd want the paint to go right around the edge of the fairing, like all my bikes have. Now, when I was planning out the GPX 750R paint job, I looked at all these custom colors, and I had some of Vlad's Benelli paint here. Vlad, we did a bike for Vlad with some candy apple green, really bright, beautiful green. Not this exact color, but it's a Benelli color. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's kind of a neat color. And it's a difficult color to paint because there's a base coat and top coats and everything. But anyway, it really looked cool. Now, I'm happy to see that Benelli, it seems like they're selling more bikes as days have gone by. Of course, when Vlad got his Benelli, it was the rarest of rare things to see a Benelli anywhere, out on a road or anywhere. And it was I thought it was a very cool looking bike and had some really, really nice green paint. And in fact, it was one of the things when I did the GPX, I was thinking I wanted to have a really, really distinct color, but still keep the flavor of the Kawasaki green. And then my friend Ken Tyser, right around that time, bought the green Camaro, sent me some pictures, and I looked at the green Camaro, and I just went down to the Gavin's and bought a quart. Turns out I needed 2 quarts of Camaro green. Got me off the hook. Here's the new H2, and looking at this real close, it seems like every year they change them just a little bit. They had the green frames in the beginning and a chrome paint. This one, I don't know what you would describe that as. It's a very unique kind of black and flat black and with red trim. Anyway, this is Luciano's favorite bike, and maybe Turbo Steve, because maybe we should call him Supercharged Steve. This is a cool bike. Of course, all paintwork, all color combinations, all custom styling, everything. It's all in the eye of the beholder. But the good news is if you can see it in real life. Now, if I had done a concept sketch of red wheels and yellow and with the black trim, and I did it out on the computer even, or I had John Pothier do it, and thank you, John, for your help, it really would not be the same as seeing it in real life where you see the colors in shadow and in bright light. And some people, again, everybody's different. Everybody likes something different, subtle, bright. And both Turbo Steve and I, and actually even Jose, we went down to their demo days. Motorcycle Mall has demo days from time to time. Free test ride. Now on my bucket list for sure, I have never owned a British motorcycle. And I have owned, I don't even want to know how many motorcycles over the years I've been involved, which is basically my whole life, probably 65 years of owning motorcycles. But I've never owned a British motorcycle. And when I was by Bob V's and we were looking at his collection, including the Vincent, I had mentioned that to him, and he looked at me like, wow, that's a big thing to have on your bucket list. Now, every time I'm around any British motorcycles, I look at them. I know the modern ones are so much better than the old ones that had a little problem with leaking oil or problems with the electronics or whatever. But I know the modern ones are just beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. And Stefan has one, and he loves it. He loves it. Now, one thing I always try to envision, like here's a good example, this bike right here. How would that bike look if instead of flat black, it was gloss black? I always just think My MT-09, the change was unbelievable. Just painting some of the flat parts black to a shiny color. Now, Stefan already has a Tenari 700 in Romania, and we correspond and share pictures, and thank you for sharing the pictures and the video from Romania. But he looks like he's having a blast with his bike. Now, hyper naked. I don't know if that's hyper naked. I have to copy that saying. Anyway, I hope they have an MT-09 here. I think they do. Now, back in '09, I bought my R1 from Motorcycle Mall, and I had to wait because I wanted a blue one. They only had the yellow and a white in the very beginning. And actually, the service manager at the time, I think his name, if I remember right, was Ron. He had a black one, and I bought his exhaust system and made the custom exhaust, the mufflers that I had used for several years, using the parts that I got from his old exhaust system when he went to a full grave system. So thank you, Ron. Now, I love my two Ninjas, and believe me, they are two very, very nice bikes. Luciano has several Ninjas in his collection, and they all seem to be very good bikes. I'm at a loss to try to find something about them I don't like. I've ridden several of his. He's ridden mine, of course. And every one of them, when I hear the name Ninja, I think good quality, and you'll have a lot of fun with the bike. And Kawasaki still makes some of the Ninjas with the original green color that they used to have on the H1s and on the race bikes. The racing colors of the day, they were green and white. This is a kind of a cool paint job with the little red, I guess it's a stripe going down a tank. And one of the things I look for on some of the bikes, the mufflers now. And some of these mufflers, they are really ugly. But I know if I was riding where I'm riding now, I'd probably want the stock muffler on there. But boy, oh boy, they get bigger and bigger, and of course they're more efficient. And the crazy thing about them is they work just as good as right up to the point where you have to, it's debatable whether you do gain anything except noise from one of these aftermarket systems. Here's just something I think about too. When I look at a bike like this, it's basically all green with black wheels and a little wheel stripe. And I wonder how would that bike look with silver wheels and a green stripe? Some of them have some really unique scoops up in the nose, and some of the R6s and the R1s, of course, they all have those unique scoops. This is a new R1. Check this out. Just check it. Check out the seat. That's a pretty cool seat. It looks almost like they copied Ducati. I don't know. Very cool. Very cool stuff going on at Motorcycle Mall today. Well, this brought back a lot of memories when my R1 was brand new and I took it home, and it was a winter day and it started snowing on the ride home. Oh boy, what memories. You never forget. There's certain things you never forget. But anyway, I look at the bike now, and then I look at how it took me how many years to make it my own bike. Long time. Now, finally, we stumble upon the MT-09. They only had one, and the reason I wanted to look at this is in my future, and this certainly is a bike that appeals to me, all of the things, the mechanical things, the ride, the aesthetics of the bike, that's all beside the point right now. Because when I get a new bike, the first thing I think of, it's a blank canvas, and then I want to start making changes, and I look around for things I might want to change. Now, it's a very different looking bike than my MT-09, and that piece in the back, I would have to get the Graves tail tidy. That's probably a real efficient thing if you know, I don't know. But aesthetically, that's something I would want to replace. Now, I looked around and I thought, well, I could make a cover for there for by the shock, a removable carbon fiber cover. Get the rear fender carbon fiber, the front fender, of course, the same thing. And the instrument cluster is different. It's a square one, and it's got, I know they have more modern features on this, and they got the throttle blipper and all that stuff. But to me, the aesthetics of the bike are what really matter. The number one thing, and it's like a woman, the number one thing is they have to be beautiful, and in my case, they have to be blonde. So when I look at this, and I think, okay, I know I'd love the bike. I know it's a little bit more modern than mine, has some more features, safety features. But what would I do to change it? What would I paint? What would I change? Now, that's a flat black cover. I don't know. What would I do to mine? I know I'd have to make that under the seat. It looks like they do the same thing with the seat. They leave those bolts exposed, and I don't care for that. The exhaust system is different. The outlet, and of course, mine doesn't have a muffler. I only have a catalytic converter on a 2020. So I have to think this through. Now the nose section, I'm sure they already make windshields and nose pieces and whatnot. And I'm wondering how that would look in carbon fiber. How would it look in blue? I know somebody on the channel had told me that the scoops on the more modern generation, the scoops are functional. And needless to say, I would have to mix up some special silver paint for the wheels. Now, being honest, I originally tried to buy my MT-09 from Motorcycle Mall. They only had the one that was white with red wheels. I didn't care for that much at all. I wanted a blue one. I searched around, and it took me a while to find one in South Jersey, and Luciano went down with me and got it. And I had it as a blank canvas over the period of a little over 2 years. And all the changes I made, the detail parts, to me, it is now a beautiful woman with blonde hair. And that's what I really like the most. Now, because I've worked with carbon fiber in my shop and in my business for over 20 years, I look at carbon fiber work. This is an R1M. Look at the beautiful carbon fiber work on this. Unbelievable. Now, there's also a video on YouTube about a gentleman. He made a carbon fiber body, and I mean the whole body, even the roof. Carbon fiber weave of a Charger, the big Charger. And when you look at how he did it and what he did, I can't even imagine how much work that was, because he got all the fibers to line up. Like, super professional job. The carbon fiber work on this bike is outstanding. It's at a level right with the stuff that Vlad got me. I don't remember the name of the company that he got it from, but I looked at the quality. It's vacuum bagged. The molds are absolutely perfect, and it's just unbelievable how good some of that work is. And I know how hard it is to get work to come out like that. It's really a labor of love. That little thing on the back sprocket, the MT-09 has the same thing. That little cover, I don't know what it does. I left it off when I put the bike back to see if anything didn't work or didn't work the same. Everything seems fine. I don't know what it is, but it was just one extra part I didn't have to have on a bike. But this bike in real life, the quality of the parts and the fit and the finish are off the chart. Now, when the Suzuki Hayabusa first came out, my good friend Bob Hunt had bought one of the first ones, and he invited me to come out to his house in Pennsylvania. It was a little over 100 miles ride for me. I had my GS 1100, the bike I'm riding today, and I went out there, and here he had this right in his garage, and I said, wow, look at the quality of this. Oh, the paint was beautiful. It was a super fast bike, fuel injected, of course. Everything was just great. We went for, I'm going to guess, a 100-mile ride, and during the ride we switched bikes, and of course the bike was just unbelievably fast. But the thing I had that was a problem for me, I'm only 5'11". The bike seemed long, and I always seemed like I was laying down over the bars just a little bit too much for me. And I always thought in the back of my mind, what do I have to do if I ever get a bike, one of these, What do I have to do to change it? Well, at the time, I didn't realize what was going to happen to me was I was going to buy the R1 and do all the modifications to the R1 that I might have done had I bought a Hayabusa back in the day. But I wanted to thank Bob Hunt for letting me ride the bike back then. And we've been lifelong friends. He's had Nortons and everything. Now, I know bike dealers have had trouble keeping inventory, keeping stock of certain bikes that are popular, and, well, what can I say? That's the world we live in a lot of things, and for a lot of different reasons, but it was good to see that if you really wanted a bike, they really did have some good inventory down there. Now, for the better part of this day, I've been looking at the various wheels and trying to give away a wheel award, and I think the Africa Twin gets it. Beautiful spoke, anodized wheels, beautiful engine, just a beautiful bike, period. And I just looked around, and everywhere I went, I was looking. I said, yeah, I could use that someday on it. I could use that logo. I like that lettering. I like this color combination. Of course, they have jet skis and ATVs there, and dirt bikes up the yin-yang. I didn't even bother going to the dirt bike area. There had to be 200 or 300 dirt bikes there, Husqvarnas and various things. And everything. I think the only two things they don't have, maybe I'm wrong, Harley Davidson and BMW, maybe. Now, I remember just like it was yesterday, when Ray got his 390, the KTM, the little cafe racer, I guess is what you call it. And he came up. I took the RD. We went out on 106, switched bikes, went through the park, switched bikes, and it was just a great day. It was absolutely a day I'll never forget. And that little 390 was just a great little bike. I was amazed how good it handled. It had nice, easy to use power. And of course, the looks of the KTMs, you can see them from 100 miles away, to bright orange. And every one of them, there's the most modern version of it too. And that is the brightest color orange. I don't know if Harley Davidson orange is any brighter than that, but those bikes made me think, wow, look at the little exhaust on this. If you're into having that type of a bike, and that is really, really a super lightweight, it feels even lighter than it really is, and it is just like an RD400. It just makes you want to just ride forever. Now, I wanted to keep this video from getting to be overly just crazy to watch, but I just did a perp walk here, and there's just row after row after row, and it just goes on and on and on. And there's so many unique bikes. I'm not really familiar with the adventure bikes, but there's adventure bikes within adventure bikes. Within every manufacturer now has adventure bikes. I think Benelli even had an adventure bike. It seems like a popular part of the sport. Everything about it, I just wish I had a bigger garage. I just wish I had the Jay Leno garage, the best way to put it. Or maybe even, something. Now, a lot of people I know, because of where they live, or maybe they don't have the time or the energy or whatever, never get to go to a place like Motorcycle Mall, where you can look at bikes side by side, you can see them in real life, see the quality, the fit, and the finish. Looking at videos on YouTube is fun, but I like to see things in real life and see some of the things that I have. Every time I go, there's something I haven't seen the time before. And it's just, I call it a little bit of an adventure. Today was a little bit of an adventure. And just looking at the stuff, now they also have, and there's a whole row of electric bikes. There's ATVs, there's everything there. The Indians, I don't want to leave out the Indians. They're an Indian dealer. There was a whole row, I think probably 15 or 20 Indians, various ones. Dale has an Indian. And you never get to see all the models. You never get to see them all side by side either. So as this day started playing out, and I got to talk to some of the people behind the counter again, talked to the salesman that tried to sell me the MT-09, but he couldn't get a blue one. It's a very friendly place. I do enjoy going there. From time to time, I pick up some supplies that I need there. It's convenient. It's only 15 minutes from my house. But the biggest thing for me is to see the bikes in real life, where I can see them up close and personal, and I can touch them. A lot of times, and in this case, they really don't want you sitting on them, but if they see you're serious, they'll let you sit on them. And the whole thing that happened to me when I was down there, and I'll tell this story once again, is all the beautiful MV Augustas. I sat on the Kawasaki Cafe Racer, and I said, no, yeah, just not really comfortable. Not for my body size. And then I sat on the MT-09, and I knew I had to have it. It's like they poured the bike around me. Now, I know a lot of people, when they go to the dealer, they get tricked. They get fooled. They lean over into a set of clip-ons, and they say, yeah, that'll be fine. And then a week later, they go, I got to get bar raisers. And it's happened to me, too. Anyway, to see all these modern bikes and to see how beautiful some of them are. The paintwork on a lot of them is just outstanding. Just outstanding. And out in the parking lot, they always have something. They were working on some kind of a car in the back. They have the slingshots, of course. There's always, again, every time I've ever been there, there's something. They have a dynamometer there. A lot of times you can hear the dyno runs when you're out in the parking lot, and they're blasting through a dyno run. And they have the stunt shows there. I videotaped the stunt shows, and we've posted several of them. We did the demo days, several of them. We have the one with Turbo Steve, one with Jose, other things that go on there. But it's kind of a cool little place just to check stuff out. And it doesn't cost you a penny. And if you're really hungry, right down the road there's a bagel place, and a lot of the bikes hang out there. And sometimes you see the bikes in the McDonald's that's right next door. But it is a fun day, and anytime I've been there, I come away with some ideas for the future, something I might want to do to my bike over the winter time. Look at that seat on that MV. That's a kind of an unusual looking seat. And the exhaust systems, and all the finishes, the polished finishes, the satin finishes, the wheels, the custom wheels. My head is spinning on the ride home. I think of all of the things and all of the ideas I've gotten over the years just by looking at motorcycles at meetups and at dealerships, and Rockwell Ducati too. I like to look at the bikes that are upstairs, and there's just no end to the amount of ideas you have. And as my late friend George Venturini used to always tell me, and he was quite an artist, he'd always say, in the end, the dreams are free. So I hope you did enjoy the video. Many of the ideas that are in my bike collection, many of the ideas for the paintwork, the wheels, the paint trim, all of the design work, the Evil Twins, a lot of it came from places like Motorcycle Mall or like Rockwell, where you get to see a lot of bikes, or Dale's get together at the meetups, the Bikes and Breakfast. Everything about the world of motorcycling to me is fun. And as I always end every video saying, I wish I had a bigger garage. And thanks guys so much for watching. We post up something every day.